isolated region of the Himalayas, beyond the snow-drenched cliffs of Tibet, there lived a hermit known as the Veilkeeper. Word spread of his mysterious wisdom and otherworldly abilities to heal, guide, and unravel the threads of fate. Pilgrims trekked dangerous paths to reach his sanctuary, a hidden cave wreathed in ancient prayer flags that fluttered ominously in the mountain winds. The hermit was an enigmatic figure, wrapped in black and crimson robes, his face obscured by a mask carved from human bone. His voice was soft, yet commanding, each word seeping into the hearts of his visitors like the bite of frost. He claimed to commune with the spirits of the underworld, offering solutions to ailments, heartbreaks, and desires. But what the seekers did not know was that the Veilkeeper's blessings were barbed with curses, timed to awaken when the cursed least expected. One bitter winter, a wandering monk named Jampa arrived, his heart heavy with guilt for a life spent doubting his faith. "Veilkeeper, I seek clarity," he said, bowing low. The hermit sat cross-legged, smoke curling from a ceremonial fire of blackened herbs and peculiar bones. "You carry the weight of betrayal," the Veilkeeper murmured, his bony fingers tracing symbols into the ash. "I will cleanse you of it." The hermit offered Jampa a silver vial filled with a dark, viscous liquid. "Drink, and the spirits shall guide you to absolution." Jampa swallowed it eagerly, feeling a strange warmth spread through his body. The hermit smiled beneath his mask, a predator's grin hidden in shadow. Months later, as Jampa meditated on a remote mountainside, his vision began to blur. At first, he thought it was fatigue, but soon black veins crawled across his arms and chest. His flesh began to rot from within, though his pain was muted, as if his suffering was being muffled for some cruel amusement. A voice, familiar and cold, echoed in his mind. "The spirits remember your sins." Jampa died alone, his body found weeks later by villagers, decomposed in ways no natural illness could explain. Another visitor was a wealthy merchant named Kinji, who traveled from Kyoto to seek fortune and protection from rival traders. "I offer you gold, Veilkeeper. Grant me victory over my enemies," Kinji said, presenting a chest of treasures. The hermit's unseen eyes lingered on the gold, but he waved it away. "Material wealth holds no power here. I require a greater offering, your voice." Kinji hesitated, but eventually agreed, desperate to gain the upper hand in his business. The Veilkeeper performed a ritual, chanting in a guttural tongue that made the air in the cave vibrate. Kinji left the cave, unable to speak, but confident in his triumph. Months passed, and Kinji's rivals mysteriously vanished, their ships lost at sea, or their bodies discovered in alleyways. Yet Kinji's empire crumbled. His voice, stolen by the Veilkeeper, had sealed a curse upon his name. His fortune was stolen from him piece by piece, leaving him destitute and screaming silently into the night. The most tragic visitor was Malin, a young mother who sought a cure for her infant daughter, stricken with a mysterious fever. The hermit gazed at the child, his fingers twitching with anticipation. "The spirits demand balance. I can save her, but a life must be offered in return." Malin sobbed, offering her own life. The hermit refused, insisting she drink from a wooden bowl carved with intricate runes. Desperate, she obeyed. The fever broke, and the child survived. Years later, Malin was horrified to watch her daughter transform into something monstrous. Her eyes turned black, her nails grew into talons, and her voice became a guttural roar. The child, cursed with demonic possession, vanished into the forest, leaving Maylene to wander the mountains in madness, calling for the girl who no longer existed. The villagers whispered of the hermit's powers, never suspecting his true nature. Each visitor left, believing they had been blessed, their fates unknowingly entangled with dark forces. The Veilkeeper was no mere mortal, but a servant of ancient curses, a weaver of agony who fed on the torment his visitors suffered long after they departed. His sanctuary, though outwardly sacred, was a prison for malevolent spirits bound to his will. Every curse he unleashed was a thread in his web of power, each soul another piece of his growing dominion. The Veilkeeper's mask remained ever smiling, his prayers ever soothing. And as new pilgrims arrived, seeking solace in the freezing peaks, the hermit welcomed them with open arms, already weaving their undoing into his next ritual.